You coming in with me?
Yeah.
So Belle, our peahen, has been sitting on eggs for the past 4 weeks. So we've had them in this chicken tractor for the past couple years. We used to free range them, but they would fly away. We got a good shot at these eggs real quick. Let's check them out. We got 3 eggs. Feels kind of cold. Okay, let me check.
This one feels like.
Let me check that one.
Don't hear anything.
Oh, that one's warm. Don't hear anything there. Let me check that egg.
I don't hear anything.
I think the egg's kind of cool. All right, well, they've been sitting on these eggs for the past 4 weeks. It's not looking good. We'll give her a few more days. Maybe something will happen, but if not, we'll talk about our plans for the peacocks here in a couple minutes. Woo, these feathers are pretty. Joey. So let me take you on a quick walk down memory lane on where we've been with our peafowl. 3 years ago, well, 3 years and a couple months, we got a bunch of peafowl eggs. We found them locally pretty cheap, good deal on them, and we thought we'd try. At the time, we weren't sure if we'd ever really want peafowl, but we thought it'd be a fun adventure. The first batch, nothing hatched. We opened them up and lots of peachicks. We had a white peacock and it didn't make it. We were able to get some more eggs from the same people, and we were able to get 2 of those peafowl to hatch. And those turned out to be Blue and Belle. Oi! We were so excited to have 2 peafowl and to get a male and female pair, just amazing. And then here we are, just a couple days ago, these 2 turned 3 years old. So last year we didn't have any of the eggs hatch out from them. We didn't expect them to be fertile, but this year we thought we might get some fertile eggs and some little peachicks. Let me tell you about what happened. So earlier this year, we ended up hatching out 3 little peachicks, and they were supposed to be eggs that were from white peafowl, but none of them ended up being white peafowl. One of them ended up dying pretty early on, had a leg issue. A second one ended up escaping, I think, and maybe our cats or a predator got it. And then our third one ended up having leg issues as well and died right here. So one of our viewers ended up looking out for us and really wanted to help and ordered us some eggs. They bought us some eggs off eBay and we tried to hatch them in our incubator. Here's what happened. These all came from 2 different sellers on eBay, and we had a viewer that decided to go about it themselves and order them and ship them to us, and we really appreciate it because this was quite an investment. 3, and so let's open these up, see what we got here. We've got 11 eggs here. 5 are from a mixed group of peafowl and 6 are from white peafowl breeding stock. Thank you so much to our viewer that had these sent our way. We'll let them rest and get them into the incubator soon. We candled some of the eggs to find out which eggs were good and which eggs were bad. Ooh, egg number 2. That's a good sign. Egg 5's looking good. And egg 6, our last white egg. Egg 6 is good. All right, well that was helpful. That helped us eliminate some bad eggs so we don't end up having any explode on us. We had our first white peachick hatch last night. I come out this morning and it's breathing just a little bit, and now here a couple hours later it's died. So we had a peachick hatch, but there's some problems. This little guy or gal hatched earlier this morning. I'm a little concerned right now because I see some curvature in the neck that I'm not used to seeing. It may work itself out. Maybe it's just from hatching, but it just seems to be huddling over a little more than I'm used to seeing. I end up separating this one out into another incubator just to try to recover and see if it would make it through it, but it didn't. After about a day, it ended up dying along with the other couple eggs that were trying to hatch out. So that was a bummer. We had one hatch out, didn't survive, so we wanted to try again. I ended up ordering some more eggs. I think some of them were from the same people, a lot of the same sellers that were on eBay. But this time we had a different idea. We had success with Blue and Belle because we used a broody hen. So we wanted to try that again over at our chicken coop. So we just got 6 white peachick eggs in. They're supposed to be white peachicks. And rather than using just our incubator, we've got some other eggs coming. These ones we're gonna use under some broody hens because we have a ton of them here in our chicken coop. You guys gonna help me?
Yeah. Yeah.
The main issue is that they get up while they're sitting on the eggs. They're gonna get up throughout the day to let other eggs be laid in their nesting box. We've got 10 nesting boxes here, and so we've got to pick the broodiest of the broody to put these under that are going to defend these eggs and sit on them. Now we could move them out to another place. We've tried that before, but a lot of times these hens end up not being broody when they're not in their normal location, and so it takes a while for them to get readjusted, reacclimated, and then to actually want to be broody on some eggs. And can't risk it because now the eggs are here and we've got to put them on it. So we're just going to keep track of the schedule, putting them on today. 28 days from now they should be hatching out, and then we can move them from under the hen or move the hen with them if we'd like to. All right, so we are on day 26, so we are getting really close to hatch day. And we're having some goofy stuff like this happen where we're having multiple chickens in the same box. Got a couple right here. We saw one little pip in one of the eggs in here. I'm excited to see if there's any progress yet. And after another month of 14 or 15 eggs under 4 or 5 different broody hens, there was one egg that ended up hatching out, but it was dead the next morning when I came out to check it. I was pretty upset at that point because we spent a lot on those eggs and they should have at least been fertile, even though we had them under some dedicated broody hens. I thought we should have seen more development than we did. Ended up reaching out to some of the sellers. One of them is going to send us some eggs next year, so I'm grateful for that we'll have another opportunity. Where's Isaiah? Hey! But then we started getting some eggs from Blue and Bell. We got 4 more eggs, and I didn't want to try the incubator again, that had already failed. But I wanted to find one dedicated broody hen that wouldn't move from her spot. Got all 4 peacock eggs. But who's had success for us this year? Woo, our I Am Chimani Silky cross that's already hatched out some silkies this year for us. We brought her over to sit on those eggs. But we've got to get her out of here because I think everybody's gonna bump her out of here. We don't want anyone to knock her off these eggs or mess with her, so we're gonna put her in a private spot. All right, Eli's gonna get Woo. All right, come on up. We'll get Bubbles in a minute, bud. Peacock eggs are pretty huge, so I'm just able to get all 4 of these in my hand. It's one of our original brooder pens where we would put mama hens and their chicks and let them run around in there. I need a nest box. This way we can put the nesting box. We'll grab some food and water, and then she can have a snack whenever she needs it. Hang on to her, Eli, hang on. All right, I'll put her in here.
Here are your eggs.
There you go. Let's see if Woo can do what our incubator couldn't. Well, Woo has been on her eggs about a week longer than they were due, and I don't think they're gonna hatch. I'm gonna go ahead and take her off, and then we're gonna check these eggs for if anything develops. You gotta check these eggs, girl. She's been on these 3 for a while. I imagine they're gonna explode, but unless something developed in there. Nothing. Oh, gross. On 4 eggs and none developed. Nope. Let's get Woo back in with the Bantam floss. She wanted to hatch these out, we did too. But she can go back to her friends. What you eating?
Pear.
Pear.
Some of the last ones of the season. One bite?
Yeah. Another cub. Woo did an amazing job. She didn't move from her spot, but the eggs just weren't fertile. So our last chance for the year, Blue and Bell. They were in here, they had laid 4 more eggs, and she was sitting on them. All right, well, Bella's been on these eggs for about a week past their due date, and now there's only 2 of them. Had 2 others in here at one point, but they got broken. All right, so these eggs, let's do one quick check, see if anything developed on this last round of eggs. Here's egg number 1. Nothing. And egg number 2. Nope, not a thing. I just got stung by a bee over here. We had a feeling they weren't gonna hatch. We didn't get any fertile eggs from them this year. This was our 3rd full year with them, our 2nd year of them having eggs. So hopefully at 3 years of age in their 3rd laying season, hopefully we get some fertile eggs next year. Now don't worry about us, we're not looking for more baby peachicks. We want to hatch them out ourselves. We want to find Blue and Bell that they have some fertile eggs, but we really want some white peafowl. Now these guys are gonna be moving to the aviary when we get it complete. So I know a lot of you guys wanna see Blue and his amazing tail feathers and a lot more space, and we wanna see that too. And so in a couple months, we are getting some fencing. We have been working on it for almost a year, and we've got it on order. They're building it, and they're gonna ship it from the UK in October or November. We'll get it. It might be cold out, but we'll be able to get started on it this winter and then hopefully get it completed in the spring. And then we'll be able to get these guys and the pheasants and the mandarin ducks all moved over there. So we've got our guinea fowl in here. This is in the aviary coop and in the aviary area. And I think I've confused some people thinking that these guinea fowl will actually remain in here once we get this whole area enclosed in. But our main goal with doing this is to keep the guinea fowl in one area, so they'll leave the chickens alone, because they'll pick on and beat up our chickens when they're over in the chicken flock. And so we've had them in here for a couple months. We actually tried to release them after being in here a couple weeks. And they end up going right back in with the chickens, which is way on the other side of the property. But we've got a new plan today. A new plan to keep the guineas over here, at least until we get the aviary area done. We've got a lot of Premier 1 fencing all around our chickens, our turkeys, all over the place on our property. And we think that might work here for the guineas. So here's what we've got. This video is not sponsored by Premier 1, but I want to show you what I end up getting from them, just in case you ever are ordering from them and you don't know what you're getting or what you're doing. When I started out, I would get the cheapest thing, which is the single spike, and it bends and gives up on you the quickest, and it's also the hardest to get into dry ground. So be sure to get some double spike, because then you can step on it and get it in the ground easily. Second thing is get one of the better fences, like the Poultry Net Plus or Permanet Plus. It's one of those two, and it's a thicker post, so it doesn't bend when it gets frost on it in the winter. And so I end up getting these 100-foot rolls rather than like the 164-foot rolls there. So you think you want the biggest fences possible, but you'll find out carrying this stuff around, to have a little bit shorter piece of fencing to carry around is quite a bit easier. So I'm gonna put this up around the aviary coop and around the pond so they can use that area. Hopefully it'll reach. I've got 300 feet of fence here. So I'm gonna try to reach it all the way around that, and then we'll get the guineas out here. Woo, there it is. Check it out. We've got it going all the way around the aviary. So this gives a little idea what the outer fence will be like, even though the outer fence is actually gonna be way beyond these outer poles. I think like 12 or 15 feet. Let's let these birds out. You ready to do this?
Yeah? It's been a long time they've been in there.
Almost something like 2 months they've been in here. Up as high as it can go. Right there, that's good. All right, now we've got their door open. Let's watch them come out. All right, well, they finally all came outside. They were pretty hesitant to do so, and now they're trying to corral back up and figure out what they're gonna do. Most of them are right at the fence. Here's one. There's one right there with Joey. As soon as we get outside the fence, we can turn it on, because they keep pushing the boundaries here. Look at these 5 right up here are just walking right along the fence. Oh, and then we have one that went up really high over here on top of the aviary. Don't know if we'll get that one down anytime soon. So hopefully they'll stay inside here, go back inside their house at night. The fence will be electrified, so they can come outside finally after a couple months inside. Get to explore the aviary until we're able to get the fencing. Okay, we're gonna turn the electric fence on. Good job, bud. So that should keep predators out, and we'll see if that'll keep them in. So this is why we decided to use our aviary for this guinea project. We don't intend to keep them in here when we move the other birds in here, but we wanted to get some kind of use out of it, and we knew the guineas would need some place to roam around, but they needed to leave our chickens alone, and we thought this would be the perfect spot. And it might help us brainstorm and come up with some ideas of how to use the space inside before the fencing arrives. So our 2021 peafowl project didn't work out. We tried 5 different rounds of eggs, and we only got about 4 peachicks to hatch out, and none of them ended up surviving. It was a tough year for our peafowl. We'll get more white peafowl eggs next year, and we'll be able to try again. So Blue has lost his feathers, his beautiful tail feathers. I'm gonna list them on our website. If you're interested, you can buy them. The feathers will be, I think, fairly affordable. The shipping is gonna be the tricky part, because it's gonna take a big tube to ship them in. So if you're up for that, you can check that out. We'll see you guys next time.